It's my honor to present this industry perspective today at this important event of Ammo India. I think this is an event which has become an biannual important event which allows the industry to put its points forward and also allows for a very wider interaction between the stakeholders on what is needed in this important area. This is further complemented by the fact of how we are seeing the global scenarios changing, the global events happening, laying more and more emphasis on the need of ammunition and the criticality of this particular defense product. Today's deliberations will focus on the imminent potential for the growth in the Indian defense manufacturing and exports in the ammunition sector, and driving joint initiatives to harness existing capabilities in making future-ready products. The FICCI Defence and Homeland Security Committee is dedicated to conducting synergic industry engagements and policy advocacy with Ministry of Defence, the stakeholders, the armed forces, the DRDO, the academia, the foreign OEMs, in order to push the government's Atmanirbharta initiative. I would like to share with you that FICCI Defence and Homeland Security Committee, in a quest to align itself with the agenda to vision shared by FICCI leadership, decided to work towards the 4 core areas: modernization of our forces, design and develop under the Make in India scheme where the Indian IP is generated, the increased private sector participation in the defense production, not as a competition to the public sector but as a cooperation with the public sector, and identify these core areas of private-public partnership where as a nation we can create companies, we can create products which are future ready and which address the requirements of our forces. As part of this commitment, FICCI works clearly with relevant stakeholders to create public-private partnership opportunities in the defense manufacturing sector, including military ammunition, equipment and armament sustainment. To promote Indian defense industries, FICCI is currently engaging extensively with both foreign-friendly countries and the armed forces of these countries, including our own forces, to make sure our capabilities which currently exist in the Indian industry are showcased throughout the world, whether for the international industry and also domestically. FICCI supports and drives government's various initiatives such as positive indigenization list. The measures by Government of India and FICCI have contributed immensely to fostering the development of new defense startup ecosystem. Today, we see a lot of startups coming up with products which have unique technologies, which have innovative products, and which are redefining the defense product space for India. On behalf of the Indian defense industry, I can confidently say that the capital outlay of 1.72 lakh crore, which has been outlaid in the in the recent budget, of the total defense budget of 6.2 lakh crore, will further strengthen the capabilities of the armed forces, and earmarking of the 1.05 lakh crore for domestic capital procurement will provide further impetus to the Atmanirbharta. The IDES scheme, which intends to boost the startup ecosystem in defense industries, is a big step for developing niche cutting-edge technologies for the defense industries. In the defense industry, in the Indian defense industry has achieved a record annual defense production of 1.1 lakh crore for financial year 23-24. This significant milestone not only demonstrates the industry's growth but also gives us a new hope for meeting the government's target of achieving 50,000 exports by 28-29. Last year, when on the same podium standing here, I had said, if the industry is given a chance, the industry will rise to the occasion, and it was time for the industry to rise to the occasion. And if we see the defense exports figures of the last year, I think all our industry friends, whether it's private or public, have come together and at least put their first step forward in showcasing that we can export, we will export, and we will be able to make the nation proud by not becoming the largest importer but the largest exporter one day. On the government side, we've had numerous help initiatives, whatever you may say, for the industry to grow. I have not seen a more positive environment than what we see today for the industry to prosper. But yes, we still look for more, sir. We still ask you for more, and we'll keep asking, because our aspirations are growing the more positiveness we see from you. We are setting higher targets from what we see as the positive approach coming from the government, and this will propel us to ask for more positive steps from the government. Some of the steps we today look forward to, specifically in the ammunition field which we are discussing today. We have to understand ammunition, especially if I talk about the medium caliber and the large caliber, it has its own nuances vis-a-vis many other products. The amount of land area required to meet these safety distances, the kind of explosive licenses required, the kind of permissions required, that itself is a humongous task for the industry. Any new industry which we are trying to set up in this field cannot compete with an industry which is existing. We are definitely trying to cooperate with our elder brother, which is the Munitions India, which is leading the way. But sir, at certain places we may not be able to compete at all. That's where we request a handholding from the armed forces, from the government, to come out with policy initiatives so that procurements can happen from the private industry, and that initial support which any industry requires to grow is provided. If we are put to compete with an existing industry, specifically in this field, it probably may not be possible. The other point in this comes on also is on the economic scales. If the order volumes will lay low, or if the order volumes are not sustained, the amount of capital expenditure required for setting up any ammunition facility, it will be impossible for any tech entrepreneur to put any foot in this field, given the risks involved. This again, we would request as a policy initiative to look at not just 10-year contracts, but look at volumes in those contracts also, so that at least it makes sense to set up a facility to put those kind of volumes. On the licensing side, we have seen a huge improvement which has happened. There were 606 licenses which were granted to 369 companies operating in this in overall defense field in the financial year 23-24. This itself speaks a volume about the amount of relaxation or the positiveness which has come from the government's initiative at not just the armed forces, but at every policy level to support the defense industry. We thank you for that. The defense industry, including the private sector and the public sector undertakings, have made tremendous efforts to achieve the highest effort defense exports, with a significant export share coming from the private industry. However, sir, I would also like to draw your attention that in the procurement which is happening for our own armed forces, this trend reverses. This trend here, the amount of sales or amount of products coming from the public industry is way too higher than what is coming from the private industry. We must think about this. If the private industry is leading the way in exports, I don't think that private industry is falling anywhere short of quality of the products or the capability of manufacturing these products. I'm also confident that the Trice Services as a user will continue to support the Indian defense industry by creating a major demand and guide us on their future requirements also. On the future requirement side, we today see most of the RFPs coming in for existing products with no enhanced parameters being laid. I'm restricting myself to the ammunition field now, because in other fields we started seeing enhanced parameters for providing you better ammunition, sir. If we as an industry wants to provide a better ammunition than the existing one, there's no incentive. This needs to be built in for the industry to put the best foot forward. If the Indian Armed Forces today are looking forward to the most advanced ammunition in the world today, then we need to ask for it also, or we need to incentivize it. With our combined efforts and determination, I'm optimistic that we will not only build on our existing capabilities, but also establish India as a preferred defense equipment supplier for the world. More so, it's need of the hour of what we have seen, the long-drawn conflicts, that we cannot today afford to rely on foreign suppliers. With all due regards to my foreign friends sitting here, as for the security of this country, we definitely need Indian supply chains which can support the armed forces in the hour of the need, in the days of the need, or in the months of the need, or even in the years of the need, which may happen in any scenario. With this, I look forward to positive interactions during the session today and hope it is valuable for the people present. Thank you.